everyone. Welcome
Hello.
back. We're happy to have you. The sun is shining where we're at today, and it just makes me so grateful.
We are coming
We
in
have,
happy and joyful.
yes, we really are. And I'm just, yeah, it's been raining in Oregon for a long, long time, and seeing the blue sky is amazing. So, speaking of inspiration, we decided we would bring in a topic about what makes us feel inspired and creative. So, Ashley, you want to dive in?
Sure,
All right,
yes.
let's do it. So, Ashley, tell me, can you list the places, people, and situations that make you feel creative?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I feel like this could be a list of like 5,000 things.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with places. Places that make me feel creative are one, sitting at my piano. There are times that I sit at my piano that I don't feel creative, but I think in general, it's where I go when I want to be creative. So that is for sure a place. And then the thing that's coming to my mind actually is when I think of places that I'm actually kind of like maybe inverting the questions a little bit because I don't know that I feel like creativity strikes me somewhat randomly. And so I have a lot of lists in my phone for when that creativity does strike. But in general, when I need to make space for creativity, I have to clear my mind. And so for me, going out in nature or moving my body or getting exercise, like those are places that I go to when I need to channel that creative energy. So I would say because of that, oftentimes when I am relaxing or when I am in nature, or when I'm traveling, when I'm, doing those things that I'm not like trying to be creative, that is often when creativity strikes a little bit. So that would be places for me. And then people and situations, that is a big one because I think anytime that I feel like I'm connecting with someone or vibing with them, I feel creative. So that could be based off of a conversation that has nothing to do with creativity, but it sparks something inside. It could be because I'm, directly collaborating with another musician like you, Stephanie. But I think I feel creative anytime I'm connecting with another person because, there's just that back and forth and that flow and that energy and that definitely helps me feel creative for sure. How about you, Stephanie?
Yeah, I echo everything you said. I think when I first thought about this question, right off the bat, conversation with other people, hearing other people speak is where I tend to find sparks of creativity. A lot of the songs that I write are words I've heard other people say, and I think that a lot of the words I've written lyrically are just borrowed ideas that I've heard other people say, either in conversation or like kind of rewording what people have like said in a poem or in a podcast or in a text or something like that. I think sometimes just hearing other people speak about the experience of their life, it reframes my perspective, which is refreshing. And so I think conversation and just hearing other people's words I find really inspiring. Even if they aren't necessarily inspiring alone, you can hear like these little bits of conversation that feel totally connected to this other concept that feels tied to the initial concept you wanted to write a song about or something, and you can somehow make these three seemingly unrelated things feel connected because of just keeping your eyes and ears open around this general concept. So I've tried to really keep my ears open and find creativity in like even mundane conversations because there's like poetry in conversations, and I try to keep my ears open for that. And then the other place that I always find creativity and openness is just being in nature, being outside. It's really easy in a small condo to feel sort of confined creatively and a little stagnant. And as soon as I go outside, and just see how I'm just a tiny speck that's a part of this way bigger picture, it really does open up my creativity and my connection to myself and my connection to all of the things around me and the beauty that, yeah, I sometimes I zone out and I don't pay attention to that stuff. So I think
Yeah.
that that's a big one for me too. And obviously, like the people I surround myself with, like having you as a friend and a work partner is just like, so invaluable. And having other people who have the same approach to musicianship and artistry, that is just always so inspiring to me. And just, yeah, hearing people's stories, like hearing where people come from, hearing what they've overcome to do what they do. I always find like those stories to be really inspiring and help me stay on the path of my own personal artistry, because everybody's got a story. No matter what it seems like on the outside, there's always, everybody has so much life to share and so many learning experiences to offer. So yeah, I guess that's for me, but it's always expanding,
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think there is something in like what you mentioned with like the mundaneness of it. I think oftentimes like and I do have days where I sit down and I'm like, I need to come up with ideas for 5 videos and it has to be right now because this is the only time that I have to do it. And I can do that. And it's not my favorite way to do it, but it's possible. But I do think that if you keep your mind open and if you are thinking in the direction of like magic can strike anywhere, or every part of life has an opportunity for that spark or for that creativity, then you do. Because oftentimes the other thing that happens for me is like when I'm reading a book, even if it's a fiction book of a story about someone else that has nothing to do with anything that I need to do for work, similar to you, I will often have like sparks of creativity or be making connections that otherwise might not have been there. If I wasn't kind of like keeping that open mind. So I think that's part of it too, is just keeping an open mind. I know in my students and in myself, when I get up, like when the difficulties start to creep in and when I start to like judge things or make up stories about why things don't work or like, have an inflow of negativity, for me that is for sure not helpful with the creative process. And I think that's something that I have experienced getting in the way, and something I see getting in the way of my students as well, is once that mind starts to be less open and maybe starts to close a little bit, it becomes, for me, almost impossible to be creative. Like I can't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I hear it. I hear you. So true.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
well, anyway, this is great. And I think it's just good to remember that, creativity happens everywhere. And just that, like, even if things don't go the way you expect them to, or maybe whatever, you feel stifled, there will always be a spark of creativity that will keep you going down the journey.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Definitely. And those of you that are watching and listening, I'd be curious to know, like, if you can list out some of the places, people, or situations that make you feel creative. And then maybe if you can seek some of them out this week, whatever that is, if it's even the smallest thing of like sitting on a porch with a cup of coffee, try to seek that out this week and see if it gets your creative juices flowing, and then tell us about it, because we would love to hear about it. Yeah. And if you're liking this, then go ahead and take a screenshot and share it on the socials. We would love that. Help get this message to people that need it the most. And thanks so much for listening. We are so grateful for all of you. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, everyone.